A global transformation is inevitable. It's going to happen whether we like it or not. I don't give a damn if people are sitting around playing golf and the fires are behind them. They are going to get that fire on their heads sooner or later, and they're going to have to wake up. A global transformation this is why it's absolutely inevitable. And it's mainly because of the pervasive human-driven decline of life. Beyond climate change, it is the decline of life points to the need for transformative change. Because if that life dies, we are going to die. It's as simple as that. So are you smart enough to figure that out? That's the question that nature is asking us. Are you smart enough to figure out that when you kill all the wild animals, you're going to die? If you're smart enough to figure that out, then stop it. And why are we doing this? Because we have built an entire industrial civilization on a couple of false axioms. An axiom is a truth that we take for granted. We know it's a truth because it's just part of our lives. We think that's true. So I say that there are two false axioms in our civilization today. This is just like when Galileo said, the sun does not go around the earth goes around the sun. Everybody got mad at him, right? They threw him in jail. But only after you acknowledge that he was right, that we could have had the scientific revolution happen. Until then, there was no way you could have had a scientific revolution. There is no theory of gravity pretending that the sun goes around the earth. Okay? Newton would not have been able to do what he did. So there would have been no mechanics, no quantum mechanics, none of this stuff would have happened if he hadn't acknowledged that Galileo was right, that the earth goes around the sun and not the other way around. By the way, Galileo figured that out and Copernicus figured that out in the 15th century in Europe. This is a well-known fact in India. It was known well before that, okay? So it's just, this is all Eurocentrism, to saying, oh, we discovered it in 1600 or whatever that. It's 1500. This is Eurocentrism, okay? There is a lot of knowledge that we already had as human beings, as a human family, that got rediscovered over and over. So anyway, leave that as it may. The current industrial civilization is based on a couple of false axioms. The first false axiom is the false axiom of consumerism, which is that the pursuit of happiness is best accomplished by stoking and satisfying a never-ending series of latent desires, which is what I call the greed is good rule. Okay? Now, there is not a single religion on this planet that says greed is good. Not one. And yet, we have built an entire civilization on the assumption that greed is good. And why do I say it's an axiom? Because we see 3,000 ads a day and we don't even blink an eye because we think it's normal. And all our models are built on the assumption that everybody is going to consume more and more and more given the opportunity. This is what I call the infinite consumption model. Everybody is trying to consume as much as Jeff Bezos. Everybody wants to go to space just like Jeff Bezos, right? That's the kind of model that we have built. And by the way, it's there in all academia. They're actually studying this model, infinite consumption model. MIT did the infinite consumption model in 1972. So this false axiom is built into our civilization, and it has to be overturned. If we don't overturn it, there is no such thing as a sustainability revolution. You will never have sustainability as long as we believe this false axiom of consumerism. And the second is the false axiom of supremacism. So which is that life is a competitive game in which those who have gained an advantage may possess, enslave, and exploit animals, nature, and the disadvantaged for their pursuit of happiness. This is what I call the might is right rule. And again, there is not a single religion on this planet that says the might is right. Not one. And yet, we have built an entire civilization on might is right, okay? On the false axiom of supremacism. And why do I say that? Because it's evidenced in all the slaughterhouses we have around us. It's evidenced in all the slave labor we have around us. It's evidenced in, in the child labor that's happening in Congo. I mean, look at the wars that have been happening in Congo and all the colonialism that's going on, the racism that's going on. That is the false axiom of supremacism. Our civilization is built on that. So these are two false axioms. And so this is why I say we are in a double Galileo moment in human history. There are two fundamental axioms that we have to overturn if we really want to have a sustainability revolution happen. And to implement these two false axioms, we have built two huge machines. First is the burning machine, which is constantly churning out more and more products. And we have planned obsolescence and all this stuff that we put in our products to implement the false axiom of consumerism, the infinite consumption model. Okay, so that's the burning machine. And that's the fossil fuel machine. So it runs mostly on fossil fuels, this machine. And it makes you go buy new cell phones every 6 months, that sort of stuff, right? And so this is the false axiom of consumerism that's implemented by the burning machine. The second is the killing machine that implements the false axiom of supremacism. In this killing machine, we are killing over 80 billion land animals and 1 to 3 trillion sea animals, not to mention billions of trees and millions of human beings through diseases and chronic diseases and hunger-related causes. So this killing machine is driving the destruction of the planet, in addition to the burning machine. Okay, so both of these have to be shut down if we really want to have a sustainable civilization. Definitely the killing machine has to be shut down. The burning machine, you have to shrink it and make it run on renewable energy. Now, that's what we need to do. But the way it is being framed today is that they're framing it as don't look at the killing machine. That's not the problem. We just need to change the fuel for the burning machine and we can keep growing it more and more and more. So this is a system that says, I don't want to change my axioms. I want to continue running a false axiom of consumerism and the false axiom of supremacism. I want to continue running this colonial system that we are in, but we'll just change the fuel for it. So that's how they're directing us, misdirecting our attention. They're saying, don't look at genetic diversity and the loss of wild animals. Don't look at the nitrogen and phosphorus loading of the planet. Don't look at all these other things, because all these other things are caused by the black dots here correspond to the killing machine. The killing machine is the leading cause of all these other things. They're saying, focus just on climate change. That's the only problem you need to worry about, because there they have made it look like it's the burning machine that's the leading cause. So this is why in all of our media, we only hear about climate change. We don't hear about the loss of wild animals. Okay, not as much.